There we go. So welcome everybody to the Friday night webinar. Tonight I am not focusing on the moon cycle as much as I suppose oh, thanks Nikki. Thanks so much. Love you guys so much. Focusing more on the energetic reset that we get to embark upon. And thank you so much for saying that. It's been a year. It's been a time, that's for sure. Yeah, you guys know lots of stuff has been going on, and I know, with everyone, this year has been incredible for the amount of loss that a lot of people have been going through. For so many reasons, and so with so many people and so many families coming together over these holiday seasons, it brings forward those people that should be here for just for certain times of the year. We often feel a large void in these times when it is times to get together and times to remember. And this whole 2022 year has been a really big journey. It's been a really big spiritual journey. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. It's been a really big spiritual journey in so many ways. For most of us, the 6-year 2022 has been a lot about learning self-love, learning what that feels like, learning what that means, going on this journey of serious self-discovery. Welcome, Lisa. It's been an incredible journey, and not that this part is ending, because of course we're going to continue to discover ourselves and discover, how to continue to love ourselves. But as we shift into this 7-year, numerologically speaking, it's about having to go through that so that we can truly ascend into this next step of spiritual growth, of this spiritual journey. It's all about divine timing, right? We wouldn't have gone through all this had we not been on this incredible journey to be where we are now. And where we are now is truly shifting into enlightenment and the enlightened version of ourselves. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to explore our spiritual self in a way that we maybe have not before, with some of these shadows that have come up to be worked on in the last little while, with some of these lessons or teachings that we've experienced and gone through in the last year. It's not all for naught. It's all been to bring us to where we are now. Good evening, Heather. Welcome. It's really all in divine timing. We can't get to a place of light when we still have a lot of dark that's kind of taking up some of that space. And so what we're going to focus on tonight is allowing some of that to shift. We're going to do a really different type of meditation. I've been really being guided to do almost like a cord cutting type of a meditation for us tonight, to be able to really, on a somatic level, on a spirit, body, mind, soul level, to allow some of the cords that we still find are pulling us in directions that we really feel aren't fitting in this new spiritual growth, in this new spiritual ascension. And it's been really interesting to be coaching this week I feel really blessed to see the patterns and to see what's going on with people, and even to see all of the, let's cut those. Even to see some of the ascension symptoms and things that are happening, like on a physical level, people are just um feeling weird, like feeling this either sort of impending feeling of doom deep inside, like not right kind of feelings, very intuitive type feelings, but it's like, what are these telling me? What's going on? And so what I'm going to encourage us with the meditation that we're going to do tonight is to be able to really see past all of that and allow the light to really shine, allow that light to really come through, to really emanate in our soul out to the rest of the collective, because the work that we've been doing, it's not just about us, it's about the collective. There's a huge consciousness collective shift that's going on with a lot of people, and you'll hear them say, like, I'm feeling nauseous, I'm feeling like I don't even know. I just honestly, I woke up today and I said to my husband, I'm sorry, but I'm not adulting today. I'm just not. And he was like, okay. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I went back to bed. I stayed in bed. I listened to meditations. I did stuff like I just refused to adult today. Anything that we had to do that involved adulting, I was having no part of. And I think after Christmas, after all the adulting that you have to do to make sure that everything is just so good for everybody else, and make sure that, everybody's okay. And we have all these, family get-togethers, everybody coming over, all these meals to cook, all these things. So I was just like, no, I'm out. I'm done. That's cute. Some people are saying that they had that this week too, but today they sort of came back, and today is a big shifting day too. Fridays are a feminine day. They're kind of a day to be able to tap into that feminine energy. So I think that's where that came from for me today. I just, yeah, flat out refused. And it was so great to be able to have this to do this evening, because I was like, boy, I really need to just, really get into the space for a little while to really kind of just connect with some great people. And we are all here together tonight for this reason, right? We're all kind of in this same space. My body's releasing just saying that. But we've shifted from thank you guys. We have shifted from the age of Pisces into this age of Aquarius. And the Pisces was all about, trying to kind of find the way, figure out who we are. This new shift into this age of Aquarius is really about lighting up our soul and letting it really take the lead. And what that means is being aware and connected with every moment that's going on, before you respond to someone, really kind of take that breath and ask yourself, am I coming from my soul, when I'm answering this, or am I coming from sort of those old egoic ties or agendas? And when I talk about cords and removing cords, and it's not so much about cutting people off or emitting some kind of frequency that nothing's going to be able to get through. It's just a lot of these old patterns, a lot of these old emotions, a lot of these people that we've had in our life, a lot of these vibrations that we resonated with and at one period or another throughout this year, have these energetic ties and these sort of cords almost connected. So you may see your cords as like a braided structure. You may see it as a pipe. You may see it as a cord. It's all about the change of structure. I love it. It is a big change of structure. And people are feeling it. And I think that's why the ascension symptoms are so strong this week, especially, is because it's like on a cosmic level, things are really shifting. We have even, when you look at planets like Uranus, which is in retrograde for just another month or so, it has, I think, like 27 different moons and rings, and it's almost like it can shift and change. And it sort of morphs into this aligned planet that all sort of works together perfectly. And so I almost kind of see us like that. And it's Uranus is all about your path and seeing things for what they really are and actually appreciating you for being here. It's like we're able to actually connect with ourselves and appreciate how far we've come and how much work we've done over this last year. I mean, think about it. Even at the space that you were last year versus this year, or perhaps even as far as 10 years ago versus right now, the amount of work, the amount of ascension that's happened, the amount of shifting. And I know from working with a lot of you that the amount of shifting that you've done in this last year is profound. And in talking with you in the last couple of weeks, it's just been like, wow, this is so, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are seeing these exact things for a reason. We don't always see those cords that are attached. We don't always know exactly what they are. So the meditation tonight will allow us to just simply allow our light to emanate so brightly from inside that it's going to allow these cords to almost simply pop off and pop out. And then we're going to return them to the universal consciousness, almost like a vacuum cleaner. When you pull on the cord and it goes, gets sucked back in, we're not only going to release these cords, but we're going to give all of that energy back to the universal consciousness and allow it to really be healed and absorbed, so that the people, the vibrations, the energy that's attached to those cords that are still connected to us in one way or the other can really go back into that universal consciousness and be healed, not just, not just cutting them and still leaving the straw there for something else to be able to kind of come up and start draining that energy again. So I feel like that's going to be really important. And some of the things that I've heard a lot about from people this week especially was ears ringing, like frequencies in their ears where they were hearing. And I've explained it so much separately that I thought it would be kind of fun to explain in the group and on a recorded webinar that will go out to other people what some of that ringing in your ears means, because there's different frequencies that happen, and there's also different sides of the so you'll feel it like more, you'll hear it out the left side of your body, or you'll hear it out of the right side of your body. The right side of the body, if we're having a lot of ringing, I mean, of course I'll say the medical disclosure of if you have really bad ear ringing where it's like, a serious problem where it doesn't stop, there could be, crystals, there could be all sorts of stuff going on in the ears. So by all means, let a doctor know about that. But if it's something that just kind of comes in and out and you're like, ooh, that was weird, like, why am I, you might just kind of feel it or sense it a little bit. A lot of you are very clairaudient or clairvoyant or clairsentient, where we actually are ascending into this time that's cosmically charged and kind of giving us signals. And sometimes we'll miss those signals if we don't know what to look for, just like the universal laws. If we know the rules of the game, it's a whole lot easier to play and actually win. So some of the tools that I like to teach about are these different things that happen. And the right ear tends to be more outside forces, where the left ear is often the inside, kind of trying to talk to us. So I know I have had a ton of frequency, like it's really, really clear. Like my left side is just buzzing right now. I just hear this really sort of, it's like a frequency, almost like a television would be going on in another room. And I remember one time, there was a meditation with, I'm sure you guys remember Shilpi. I had a meditation with her, and it was a time that it was supposed to start, and I was busy doing something else. And all of a sudden it was like, woo, like I just got this strong frequency in my ear, and I was like, ooh, what's going on? And I remembered it was my left ear, and it was like a really quick, like bright buzzing, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to pay attention. Oh shoot, it's 8 o'clock. It's time for the webinar. And they had literally all hopped on and hopped into the field, and it was like, woo, just kind of dial this in. So if you're hearing, an all of a sudden kind of sudden or loud frequency that just is really hard to ignore, that's your body, especially if it's on the left side, trying to tell you to just kind of be aware of something, trying to get you to pay attention to something that's going on. Notice the time, look at the clock. Sometimes it's just oh, it's 1, 2, 3 on my clock, or it's an angel's message trying to kind of get through. If it's on the right, I usually say it's the angels kind of talking to you with a loud buzzing noise like that. If it's on the left, it's often just kind of um, uh, like a pay attention signal to something, whatever might be going on in the field right now, if you were supposed to be somewhere or something like that. Um, Sometimes we'll get a really high pitched frequency. So if it's coming from the right, it's usually on the right side, it's usually attached to the chakras. So if it's really high pitched, it's usually your crown chakra that's kind of trying to get attention. Usually it's angels of light, there's messages, there's maybe someone that's on the other side that's kind of trying to get your attention. You may all of a sudden have realized that you were thinking about someone that's passed all day that day. That's a really good indication that they're just kind of sprinkling in some energy, trying to get you to notice them in a way, trying to get your attention. If it's a lower frequency, a lot of times it's into the lower chakras, and a lot of times that is caused by stress or strife. So we tend to want to pay attention to that too. It's calling for healing in the body. It's calling for you to be aware of your surroundings. It's calling for you to be connected to source, to maybe take a few minutes and meditate on what might be going on so that you can actually move through something before it turns into a lower frequency emotion and then causes other ripples that you don't want it to cause. So when we're in this sort of spiritual growth period, of course we want to be as grounded and as aware and as balanced as possible. And so when we're aware of these frequencies, it can really help us out. So those lower ones are often having to do with those lower chakras. It can often do with familial stuff, or, just kind of having you sort of take notice that something's demanding a bit of attention, and to pay attention to that, and to just give yourself a few minutes to actually listen. So frequency is often an indication to maybe do a little bit of meditation, or maybe do a little bit of that quiet time, that one-on-one time with yourself that we so divinely need and often tend to let go until the end of the day. And then we're like, oh geez, I didn't even look at my lenses. I didn't even think to meditate today. Anything like this, it'll all sort of come up. So the left ear, the high pitched ones, vibrations are often indicating some, like a little bit of a growth period. It's bringing you into that higher vibration, especially in that left ear. So it's like realigning and recalibrating. So if you're hearing it in that left ear, it's often just like this recalibration process that's happening. Sometimes people call it shifting timelines, or, kind of getting back into yourself in that high frequency. So it's usually a really good thing. You can just kind of pay attention to it and go, oh yeah, okay, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it's a really good indicator. If it's a little bit of a lower type of frequency, or if it maybe even feels a little bit negative, it might be telling you that you're off balance a little bit. So it's a good way it's almost like a meter. It'll sort of go off. If it's a high frequency, you're in that right zone. If it's a lower frequency where it feels kind of a little bit impending or doom-like, it's often literally your body asking for that recalibration process to start to take place. So you can control the frequencies with your emotions, but you can also really sort of stay in tune with what's going on. That's what Lisa wrote, sounded like a really old tube style TV warming up. That's the exact tone that I'm talking about. It's literally like, I remember in the 80s, being a kid, and that I would hear that frequency, because now that's what it reminds me of. And so that was it. It went from low. It was like, okay, something's kind of talking to you, and literally let you know that your vibration was recalibrating there. So it's a good indicator that we're, our levers are working. All of the little things in our console are telling us the correct messages. And when we know kind of what they're trying to say, makes it a little bit easier. If it's a more like a white noise kind of feeling, that's often literally like a message from your higher self. If it feels really peaceful, that's exactly what your body is trying to tell you, to kind of get comfortable in that, to try and literally sort of pay attention, especially if you notice it getting louder. It's definitely calling you to pay attention to something. So when we get into releasing some of these emotions, some of these patterns, some of these vibrations, some of these present vibrations that we may be just really ready to shed. On a mindset level, we do this work every day. What I like to do is incorporate a little bit more of the body, mind, and spirit with the mindset work so that we can truly in our actual cellular DNA reset things a little bit. So my calling to call this the reset was really, I almost saw us like pushing a button where we literally get to kind of reset this. We're not going to do that exact thing in the meditation, but what we are going to do is reset our light bodies. And we're going to allow that frequency to turn up, and we're going to allow that cleansing and clearing and purging that has been happening. You've probably noticed a lot of people getting sick, a lot of people hurting themselves. That's also ascension process and ascension symptoms. um Big injuries happening, things like this. It's like if you weren't slowing down, the universe is kind of making sure that you're going to do so, because it's very imperative that we have this time for ourselves, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, even if it's just 10 minutes a couple of times a day. It's so imperative that we actually take this time for just a few moments every day to make sure that we are paying attention to ourselves, that we're being able to have a little talk with our soul and have a little conversation and say, what is this about? Rather than it carrying us away like it may have done in the past. And this is what self love is all about. It's all about actually taking that time to honor ourselves. It's not so much about, oh, I love myself so much, I'm the most beautiful, I'm a 10. It's not necessarily about that. It's honoring our own path. It's honoring the fact that we are ascending and that we are a spiritually growing collective that is now affecting so many other people. Because think about, when you are grounded and balanced, how many other people that affects on a daily basis, and how sometimes just your peaceful demeanor or your insight or your advice can be taken when we give it from that real soul space, where we're not giving it from the ego or how it may affect us in life. It's actually kind of really going in and connecting to soul, and having that divine message come through us, rather than allowing the ego to be feeding whatever it was feeding before. This is a big shift that's happening. So we're just going to allow that light to really enter. This All the paradigms are sort of shifting in this year, in this 7 year. That's Last year's been mostly familial healing, whether it's birth family, whether it's acquired family, whether it's friends, whether it's um, coworkers, whoever it is that comes into your field. There's been a lot of healing that's been going on, and a lot of shifting that's been happening, and a lot of uncovering. There's been rugs that have been pulled up. There's been closets that have been swung wide open. There's been shadows that have been coming up that have been ready to be healed for so long, 30, 40 years for some of us, even more, right? These things that we've learned, these things that we've packed down, these things that we've guided our life by, are now, even when you look at government, all of these things that we trusted, that we knew, that we had sort of as our solid structure, have been literally ripped away or uncovered in such a fast way, in such an intense way over this last year. It's not accidental and it's not coincidental. It's truly this ascension shift that's happening on this collective realm. So we're literally reclaiming our spiritual heritage. We're reclaiming who we really are as a soul. If we didn't have this intention of being our truest, purest version of ourselves, we wouldn't be here right now, right? We wouldn't be doing this work that we've been doing for the last year. So this is really to help unravel our authenticity. And that wouldn't have come up. We wouldn't know our authenticity if this last year hadn't happened and all of these. Oh, I love it, Lisa. Thank you. I'm so glad. These things wouldn't have been coming up for us to see if they weren't ready to be healed. None of it would. And it's coming up because it's ready to be healed. It's ready to be shifted. It's ready to be moved. We don't just experience these things for no reason. We don't just have these, these things that come into our lives for no reason. It's really showing us exactly who we're meant to be. And so we're going to have some fun actually imagining and feeling our true spiritual goddesses that we are. We're gonna go into this meditation in a feeling of strength and power and authenticity and resonance, and really embrace the truest, fullest version of ourselves. And we have Mercury retrograde that's just coming in, just started yesterday, I guess. And for a lot of people, they're like, "Oh, it's scary," but all it really is it has us sort of mind our words. It has us mind our vibrations. It has us being aware so that we don't say things that we don't mean, so that we don't do things that we don't have to mean, so that we don't, it kind of, conversations go deeper. People are like willing to talk about things a little bit. It sort of opens up Pandora's box in a way. And in that way, I think the sort of chaos around it is that all of a sudden everybody's really speaking how they really feel. They're not holding it back anymore. They're kind of letting things out. And for people that aren't grounded, that can be very unnerving. It can be a little bit scary. And then, of course, we get the electronics that like to do little games with us. But it's really not a scary thing. I feel like it's very appropriate to come into the new year in Mercury retrograde. And we had it 3 times this year. It was like, this all happened for the very reason of the things that are ready to be released, so that we don't carry them through into next year. There's been so many people who are just noticing things that they're like, instead of just kind of burning something to the ground. Like, we had a great group the other day on Wednesday where we were talking about relationships, and like seeing past patterns with relationships, and like knowing very well that you're burning this to the ground, but it's not what we want. So this is coming up to show us our patterns so that we don't repeat them, so that we can actually, we've been brought everything that we've wanted this year. It's been coming into our field. The question is, are we receiving it? Are we accepting it? Are we embracing it and feeling worthy enough to own it, right? Are we feeling like, yeah, I could do this? Yeah. Like, or are we feeling like we maybe still don't deserve it? But the beautiful thing is it's like people are recognizing this, and they're understanding, okay, this is what I would normally do. This is my pattern, and I don't want to do this anymore. So this is what we really get to kind of pay attention to. So whether it's, habits, whether it's emotions, whether it's things that we've been doing, whether it's things that we've been feeling, whatever it is, these are all cords, and they've all been connected into our field at some point. I love, my body's just like, let's get rid of this stuff. So I'm going to invite you guys to just get into a relaxed space. I'm going to give you guys some energy work too, just because my hands are like tingling away and like feeling like they're being pulled into the computer. So I'm just going to end up doing a little bit of energy work while we do this. And I'd like you to just in your mind, get into the feeling of meeting your spiritual self, your true light gods that you are in there, your true vision in a way that you maybe never let yourself see before. See yourself as floating on water, see yourself as this being that is capable of connecting with beings that have passed, this being that is able to connect so intuitively into soul that you've never even imagined before. I want you to just really play with this. And in your mind's eye, I want you to just close your eyes, block out all of those visions, all of those senses. And I want you to just imagine for a moment that you're looking at yourself as this truly ascended, spiritual, beautiful light being that you are. It doesn't matter even what your body looks like. We're not talking about goals here right now. We're talking about your soul and your spirit. And I want you to just see it for what it is. I want you to see your soul and your spirit as others see you. Take that in for a moment. Not as you see yourself, but when others see you and they're like, oh, you're just so amazing. Like, how are you just so grounded? How are you so peaceful? How are you just so enlightened? You just know, you're just intuitive. And just imagine that you are someone else looking at yourself as this truly spiritually enlightened soul that's about to carry through into this next year, almost as a baby that's going to grow and grow into this beautiful spiritual being that was always here, but was just kind of masked down, told they couldn't, told they wouldn't, said they shouldn't. We're just going to literally imagine this beautiful spirit, the one that's inside of you, coming out and showing itself in just the most beautiful ways. And I'd love for you to just connect with your breath right now. Connect with your feet on the ground, or if you're lying down, you can imagine the bottom of your body, if it's your bum or if it's your back or if it's the legs, anything that's touching the ground right now. I want you to feel as it touches the ground that it's almost like this magical process that happens where you're getting these little roots that are sprouting out, whether it's from your feet or whether it's from your back. Imagine that as it touches the ground, as you feel that area of your body touching the ground, that it's actually growing roots. It's sprouting them out. They're like these beautiful little energetic roots. And I'm getting the color pink coming in very, very clearly. And that's the energy, the color that's being produced by Mother Gaia right now in this new cycle that's happening with this exciting energy that's building up into the new year coming. The earth has actually ascended. The earth has actually started to regrid, and this beautiful pink energy is coming out from hundreds of feet down in the middle of the earth, and from this beautiful Merkaba that's Mother Gaia's energy. And I want you to imagine that your roots are seeking out that energy. They're just growing and growing, and as they're seeking out that beautiful crystalline energy, they're just growing more and sprouting more and getting stronger and tapping into her beautiful pink feminine energy. And almost like when you tap into it, you can feel almost like a mother's hug come around you, come over you, come through you. And I want you to just focus on your breath a little bit. I'd love for you to just breathe in through your nose. And when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in a little bit more, almost like you're taking a deep breath at the end of that breath. And as you breathe out, just breathing out through your mouth and just relaxing all of the muscles in your body, just imagining those roots tapping into Mother Earth's energy, allowing those crystals to start flowing up through those roots. And as they do, they start to fill your whole body with this warmth, with this glow, with this light. It's just starting to trickle into all of your cells, and imagine it just moving up your feet, up your back, wherever those roots are coming from. I want you to just imagine that light starting to fill your body. Starting to fill your body in every orifice and every space and every cell, and just allow those cells to start infusing that light and diffusing it through your body. With every breath, imagine that light just growing in your body, just moving up through the feet and the ankles, the lower legs, the calves, the knees. Just imagine that light starting to fill each part of the body. Allowing that light to move up through the thighs. And starting to tap into your energy centers. And as it taps into each energy center, I want you to imagine a new root or a new tether that's coming from each energy center that goes directly down into Mother Earth. So not only are your roots grounding you, but each energy center is going to grow a tether to go down into the earth. So imagine it coming in to the root chakra right now, that beautiful red color. Imagine a red tether going down from your root all the way down, snaking down into Mother Earth's Merkaba of beautiful light energy. And as it does, that chakra starts to lighten. It starts to recalibrate. It starts to cleanse and clear. Allowing any cords that we have that are deep, deep down in those chakras, in those energy centers, to be lit up, just to see them. We're not releasing or anything yet. We're just noticing any familial, any old generational, any maybe even past life cords that are still kind of tethered. Notice some darkness in that area. If you have physical problems in that area, that's a good indicator. There may be some cords in there. Just noticing it and just allowing that red tether plug to go down deep into Mother Earth. And as it does, it just soothes, clears, transmutes that energy center so that the cords you might feel little pops. You might feel little motions and times where those cords are so ready to be released that they're literally almost just like a suction cup being released and just plopping onto the ground. And after this meditation, we're just going to have a bunch of cords that we're going to just gently pull on, allowing them to just unravel and get back into that collective universal energy. Now imagine moving up just a little bit into that sacral plexus, into that low back. If you're a low back pain person, if you've got stiffness in that area, if it's an area that's not so flexible or even been injured, just notice what that energy center feels like. If it feels like it's not moving, and we're going to take an orange tether, an orange snaky cord that's just going to go deep down out of our bodies and into Mother Earth. Like you're the vacuum and you're just pulling that cord out and you're just allowing it to plug into Mother energy, and just allowing that shift to happen in that sacral plexus. Allow all those muscles in that area to relax as you breathe out. Connecting again with your breath as you just breathe in and allow your solar plexus to start to light up with its beautiful yellow colors. Those boundaries that have been maybe waffled on a little bit, maybe unsure, those parts of us that we gave away. Every time we said yes, but we meant no, all of those are all in that solar plexus. We're just going to allow a beautiful yellow tether to start snaking down from that solar plexus, wherever it may be, down deep into Mother Earth, just plugging into her energy. And as we do, we start to feel that light slowly enter our body, slowly making that energy center glow, perhaps even spin, allowing it to simply be lit so that we can do some work in there in a moment. And as we do this, the green color starts to seep in, the beautiful emeraldy green. You may see it more as lime. Just notice the color of green that you're noticing as your rib cage starts to light up. As a beautiful green tether starts to tap in to Mother Earth's energy, being pulled out of your heart chakra and down deep into Mother Earth. And just allow those beautiful rainbows of tethers to follow each other as they snake down into that Mother Earth's energy. All of your chakras, all of your energy centers tapped into this crystalline grid of Mother Earth, this healing energy, feeling like a warm hug wrapping around your heart, feeling like a warm set of arms coming right around your shoulders and holding you in a space that's so gentle and so forgiving, and allowing some of this forgiveness to want to come up. At the pace that's right for you, we're going to allow this green energy to just infiltrate your arms, your shoulders, your chest, your heart, your rib cage. Notice any stiffness or soreness, or perhaps you have a spot in that area that's always sore. We're going to end up tapping into that in just a few moments as we let those cords start to release. But for now, we're just tapping in, tuning in, turning on all of Mother Earth's energy as we light our heart chakra up with this beautiful green tether that's tapped right into Mother Earth. And as we do this, it's like the next light goes on with this blue light through our throat chakra, allowing us to see our truth, to speak our truth, to hear our truth, allowing us to know our authenticity, allowing us to be pure with our words, allowing the light language to move through there as it just recodes anything in that throat chakra, and allowing a blue tether to be released from that area and to go right down into Mother Earth. Allow that cord to just snake on down, moving alongside the others and tapping into Mother Earth's energy, plugging in with that beautiful blue tether. There's a beautiful indigo color that's starting to come in as the frequencies start to shift in the ears. You guys may feel that or hear that, where you're starting to hear lighter sounding frequencies, almost like the antenna tuning into these higher vibrations, allowing that indigo channel, that indigo tether to go deep down right through your third eye, perhaps even out the back of the head, and down deep into Mother Earth, tapping into her beautiful energy, allowing you to see. There's been a big shift with the third eye this last week, so you may feel the pressure in behind your eyes. You may feel like you're wearing glasses even though you aren't, a pressure on the bridge of the nose. That's actually your pineal gland opening, moving, shifting, expanding your vision, your ability to see what you've never seen before. Taking a nice deep breath, allow the breath when you're breathing out to almost be pushed out the top of the head. Breathing in through the feet, allowing it to channel up your whole body. And about midway through your body, push that air up from the solar plexus all the way up to your crown chakra. And imagine the breath moving out of the top of your head as a beautiful last white tether comes squiggling out of your crown and right down into the Mother Earth's energy. Allowing all of your energy centers to be online with this beautiful, healing, all-encompassing, all-growing energy. Allowing all of your chakras, all of your energy centers to get the upgrades, like you're plugging your phone in, and it's allowing all of these upgrades to finally come in. And I want you to just imagine right now that you're all plugged in to Mother Earth. You are grounded, your roots are connected, they're drawing in all the juicy goodness that you can handle. They're allowing your cells to recalibrate, to reform. They're allowing the neurological system to be reset on such a beautiful level, like you've never felt before, like you've never heard before, just allowing these frequencies to do their work and move through all these energy centers one at a time. I'm going to ask you to imagine that you are connected so deeply to Mother Earth that you can now feel your feet almost like they're in sand, like they're nice and cool, but the warm energy is pumping through the bottoms of the feet. And in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine that you're standing beside a beautiful still pond. It's nighttime, the stars and the moon are out. Maybe the moon's just the crescent that it is right now, just this new awakening moon. And I want you to imagine that the reflection in this pond is nothing but stars and the crescent moon that you can just see glimmering on top. Knowing that this pool is a healing pool, it's a healing pond, it's this literal pond of light. You can tell that it's water, but the stars are making it glow in such a beautiful way that you're not sure it's not magic. You're not sure it's not fairy dust that's just filling this pond. And I want you to notice all of the smells that you might smell. Being out in nature, being by water, perhaps you smell a fire in the background. Noticing the colors, notice the color of the water. Is it shimmering to you? Is it light? Does it feel like it's a beautiful blue? Does it feel like it's dark? Does it feel like it's glowing in the dark? Just notice what that pond feels like. This pond is meant to be the healing pool, will absorb any energies that are ready to be released. And I want you to go in and ahead and take a step towards that pond as you feel your toes just dip into the water. And as you can get closer and get your toes in that water, perhaps even just your feet, you notice that it feels like it turns up that antenna a little bit. The frequencies shift just a bit more for you to be able to do this healing. And I'm going to ask that you pay attention most to the areas of your body that cause discomfort, the areas of your body that have been trying to talk to you. For some, I feel there's some areas in and around the feet, so we're going to allow the feet to be healed first, and we're going to allow the feet and the direction of our path and the ways that we've been told we had to go and the ideas that people had put into our heads, the maybe even spiritual connections that were trying to keep us from going forward on our spiritual path. And as you step into that water, I want you to feel those cords popping off, like they can't stay attached as you're getting closer and closer into that water. They literally pop off, kind of like a suction cup would. And as they do, I want you to notice that as they pop off into the water is what draws that cord away, almost like pushing a button, watching the cord retract down into the water, into that collective universal consciousness, where all of the vibrations of those cords no longer resonate with your feet. As it enters the water, it becomes cleaned and cleared and transmuted in the most beautiful way, in the most subtle way, like you almost didn't even feel it. But your feet are now free, and as the water enters wherever those holes were, wherever those suction cups were, it's actually healing your feet. It's healing the pain in the feet. It's healing all the neurons in the feet. It's healing all those pathways that you were meant to follow. And for the first time ever, you feel like you're just floating. You feel like you're just this beautiful spiritual being that is not so much walking on a path, but being so drawn forward into it that it's like sliding into the most beautiful pair of shoes that you've always wanted to be wearing. And allow your feet to just be encompassed by these beautiful shoes underneath the water. Imagine your new spiritual growth shoes. They're your new shoes that you're going to be walking in, walking the walk, walking the talk. These shoes can't come off. They've been the ones that have been meant to be shown to you all along. I see so many sparkles in these shoes. Such sparkly shoes. And as your feet have literally healed from all of the past traumas and dramas, from all of the connections that have been connected to them before, they're able to dance, they're able to move, they're able to flow freely. As you allow yourself to be brought a little bit further into the pond, into this beautiful healing body of water that has nothing but magic inside of it, and just allow your legs and your calves and your knees to be submersed in the water. And as you do, you can feel these cords being gently lifted and detached from your knees, from the backs of the knees, little pops, from the fronts of the knees when you've fallen and gotten up, when you've perhaps been pulled two ways, not sure where you're going, not knowing which way to point, and allowing those knees to all of a sudden feel sure of your spiritual path. Imagine those knees being transformed, almost like you're being made over in some kind of cartoony type of beautiful new drawing, new painting, like you're watching this body of yours be repainted, reformatted. The most beautiful legs you've ever seen, just smooth. No more bumps, no more lumps. This beautiful spiritual, literal being entity is being transformed and shown to you right in front of your eyes. And allow the knees to be so clear on this path that you're going on, this spiritual ascension. You've come so far. You haven't come this far to turn back, and now you know. You just know deep inside, just releasing any cords, any connections, any ties that told you you couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't, and just allowing any vibrations that were no longer serving you to be just so gently released. And as they touch the water and fall off of your body, they are retracted back into that universal consciousness. Just allowing those cords to be retracted and allowing that water, that beautiful magical water, to fill in your knees and your legs, moving all the way up your thighs, and feeling yourself just wanting to take a step further and further into that pond and allow it to just wash over your legs, changing, clearing, transmuting those legs into the spiritual legs that you're now going to be walking on. And allowing those to move wherever they need to move. The cells are recalibrating, shifting, drawing this new picture of your spiritual self. This spiritual being that you are, this coming out. And imagine this pond and the beautiful water going up as high as you're ready for, at your own pace, into that pelvis. And as it does, it's cleaning, clearing, and transmuting all of the energies that have gone on in that area, in that root chakra before you were even born, those past lives that are connected. Those times where parts of us have been taken, those traumas that we've been through that have all been stored deep down in that whole pelvic region, in that whole groin area. Allowing that healing to come through right now, these healings that we probably haven't been ready for up until now. Allow yourself to go in as much as you feel safe and allow that area to be bathed in this beautiful light, knowing that as you do, these cords are simply falling away. They can't hang on anymore in this vibration. This spiritual entity that you are has no cords, has no injuries. This spiritual self is nothing but light, and just allowing those cords to be dropped off, unplugged. Any entities, any spiritual attacks, that one made me dizzy. Just allowing that to just process, taking a nice deep breath. Asking for your body to release anything from that whole root chakra that's ready to be let go. You can simply choose to allow these cords to be released. Give your body permission to let them go, to not hang on to that anymore. It's not yours, it's not your fault, and there's a lot of forgiveness deep down in here that needs to be going on. Allowing any shadows to move, any rugs to be uncovered, any familial ties and vows and contracts that we had are all in this area. Just ask for help with the superconscious, with Mother Gaia, with all the ascended masters, the energies, the angels, and all for greater good, to release any cords that are ready to be let go right now. If certain people pop into your mind, choose to forgive them right now. Choose the frequency of forgiveness, of acceptance. Choose the frequency of love. And notice that your body, your spiritual body, is starting to recalibrate, and you can almost start to see now this new pelvis of yours, the one that doesn't have any issues, the one that has free-flowing hips, the one that has bladders that work perfectly. All of our sexual organs, all of those traumas that have been in that area, just allowing those to be recalibrated, cleansed, cleared. They don't need to be hung on to in this new spiritual ascension. We've learned so many lessons. We're ready to move forward now without tethers and ties, and just allowing your body to release anything that it's not using, anything that it's not needing to be hanging on to, and to release anything that's preventing us from this true path of ascension and spiritual growth. And as you tune that light in from Mother Earth, I want you to imagine the light inside of your body starting to get a little brighter as the water from the pond starts to fill up every hole, every connection, and do all the magical healing that it needs to with its pink light, with the beautiful light from the pond, emanating through every cell that needs to. There's so much light coming from in and out that it's recalibrating naturally anywhere that cords have been released. I'm just going to remove some energy here. Taking a nice deep breath. When you're ready, I want you to feel safely to go in so that your navel is covered just up to your belly button in the pond. And feel yourself start to sway as you're floating in this pond. Just enough, your feet are still grounded. I want you to imagine what that water feels like just above your belly button, just that whole lower back. Your kidneys, your pancreas, all those organs, all of that cellular DNA that's been hanging on to patterns, that's been hanging on to pain, to fear, to anger, to frustration. This new ascension has no room for these frequencies. Just going to allow those to literally dissipate into the water as you feel like they're just falling away from you. Like you feel like those cords are literally just unplugging. And as they do, the water takes them and they just squiggle right back into that universal consciousness, like a vacuum cord being literally reeled back onto its reel, where it's supposed to be, not plugged into your body. Allowing your whole sacral plexus to go through this healing, this beautiful orange color that will start to light up and emanate as your whole body starts to glow. Choosing right now to release any cords from that area that may have been holding on to some of those lower frequencies, that may have been holding on to some stories. And just notice if there's any stories that are coming up for you right now that you're ready to let go of, any patterns, any things that you were doing in the past that you're just not willing to bring forward into this beautiful spiritual ascension that you're going on. They just don't fit anymore. Allowing those vibrations to simply be transmuted right back into its original source. And allowing some of these cords to be released and returned back to the people that had plugged them in to draw your energy, to hold you back. Just allowing those all to release in those lower chakras. That whole sacral plexus feeling cleared and cleaned and transmuted and starting to light up this beautiful red sunsetty glow that's coming from inside your body all the way out. And allowing it to move up above your navel into that sacred space where your breath had been taken away. Allowing any cords, any gut-wrenching cords, those traumas, those gut-wrenching moments where we were literally in heaps on the floor of those pains that we could no longer bear. Allowing some of that huge despair to be released from the body, to be given back to its original source. And allowing any cords, any connections, any ties to any of those pains that we felt that we had to suffer. Truly knowing that we're not meant to suffer, that we're meant to be here, to be light. Allowing those old patterns, allowing that victim to simply be unplugged and to be let go. And as it does, we're able to feel that water cleansing, cleaning, clearing, and transmuting that whole energy center, feeling that warmth, feeling that swaying, feeling that right feeling of allowing this stuff to finally be let go, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others. If others come into your mind right now, simply noting it and sending love and forgiveness their way. And allowing that cord to literally be retracted back into the banks of the universal consciousness. And our heart is now glowing. This beautiful green light is starting to just shine. noticing any cords in the low back where we didn't feel supported, where we wouldn't let ourselves feel supported, and notice all the receiving that can happen when we let some of these cords simply drop off of our body. As this light starts to glow, these cords can't stay attached anymore. It's like it's hot fire and they need to just fall off. As this love, as this compassion starts to grow, as this love for every single being, every single thing, every single moment, every single beautiful moment that's going to come forward this year that we're going to be able to enjoy so fully, in knowing that we have asked for all of this, that we have truly manifested all of this, and now our light is going to allow us to receive it. Just imagine cords falling right off of your body, unplugging, and allowing that beautiful water to just retract them all back into the banks. All of those people that we gave power to at one point or another, all of those past relationships, all of those past wounds in our heart, the ones that may even be coming up now that we thought we had let go, just allowing those cords to be released. Just ask that all the cords to your heart chakra, to your heart, to your energy center, in your whole rib cage, in your whole body, from the shoulders down, be released and let go. Allowing the light to simply exude from these holes that were once there, to be filling them so quickly that you've never felt more whole, you've never felt more as one with the divine consciousness. Imagine allowing yourself to receive all the beautiful things that are coming that you've been the one stopping you from. And now give your own self, your own heart, a bit of that forgiveness, a bit of that energy. We couldn't change what we didn't know, and this is exactly why we know what we know now, because we're ready to change. Allowing that message to emanate through your heart. I just didn't know, but now I know. I know what I want. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I deserve. I know because I've been asking for it, and now I'm ready to receive it. Taking a nice deep breath, allowing that whole heart energy center to just shift in light. And imagine those cords as you enter the water all the way up to your shoulders, to simply be retracted and returned back to their original owners in the universal consciousness. And now imagine just allowing that water to bathe your throat right up to your jawline, right up to your ears. You can still breathe through your nose, just feeling that water and its healing energy. It's so still, you don't have to worry about waves, you don't have to worry about ripples. All of this transgression of all of these lines that are being retracted back into the universal consciousness are creating no ripple. It's the calmest water you've ever been in. And it's allowing your whole throat chakra to be cleansed and cleared and transmuted of all those times that you may have physically had hands around your throat, mentally feeling that pain of not being able to speak your truth of who you really are. And releasing all those cords from the ears that allowed you to hear things in a certain way, and allowing that frequency to shift into hearing truths, into being aware of every moment Every show you watch is going to feel different now. Every conversation that you have is going to feel different now because you've ascended. You are ascending into this body of light, not this judgmental, trapped, corded and coded up being. You are now recoding every cell in your body, every cell below your ears right now, to be emanating on this higher spiritual path. And notice what superconscious has created for you in this spiritual body. Your skin may be perfect to you. You may be just this light body. Just notice what superconscious is showing you. Notice what the spirit is showing you right now. Underwater, it may just look like light, like a beautiful rainbow of light. And allow the blue color to heal that throat chakra, to clean, clear, and transmute any cords, and just choose to have those cords released from your throat. Choose to allow those cords to be released from your ears, from your jaw, from the bones, from the brain stem, allowing your neurological system to simply be reset with your vagus nerve finally releasing, recalibrating. And imagine for a moment now that you can tip your head back and feel the water start to come over your whole head, as from the back of your brain stem, this light is starting to move through into the purple color. You can still breathe, you can still feel. You may even feel as though your feet want to come up and you may want to just start floating on your back. If it feels safe for you, allow yourself to imagine yourself just lying on your back in the beautiful pond that's not moving an ounce, just still and light. And allow your third eye and your crown chakra to be able to open in a new way, where you are collectively connected to Source. And allow all those old cords, all those old beliefs, all those times where you chose not to see, where you chose to turn, and just allow those to all be released, cleaned, cleared, and transmuted, like they're falling off of your body and being retracted into the universal consciousness of the earth. Allowing Mother Gaia's energy to still have you tethered by all of those beautiful tethers that you grounded in with, giving you all the energy. And as you float there, I want you to imagine the top of your head just expanding and opening, connecting you to Source in every way, feeling the water of this beautiful pond rush in and rush down and through your body into any areas that need cleaning and clearing still. And the only ties that you feel connecting you to anything are the 7 chakra tethers that you have dialed down into Mother Earth. And just imagine right now that there's this beautiful pink bubble that's forming around you. Forming around you, cleaning and clearing any other energies, any spiritual energies, any energies from other worlds, any tethers or ties from any universal consciousness that's attached itself to you that is no longer feeding your soul's journey in this true path of ascension, and just allowing those beautiful chakra tethers to light up one by one, noticing which ones are brighter. For every single person, it's going to be a little bit different. But for all of you, I feel like there's just a little bit of work left to do in some of those energy centers. So we're just going to float for a minute in this beautiful healing pond of magic and light, and allow each of those energy centers to draw in from Mother Earth any more light they need to fill. Some of those holes are kind of big where we've released some of these cords. Notice any pain in your body, any discomfort right now. Allowing the light of that corresponding energy center to simply be lit up. Imagine that light filling your body so brightly that instead of seeing the reflection in the pond, you can see the reflection in the stars of your own light. And just enjoying that light for a moment as it just amplifies through each cell of your body. Imagine those frequencies starting to shift and starting to rise as we tune ourselves in to appreciation for where we were and how far we've come. Creating this visual masterpiece of our spiritual self in its highest, truest form. This form that's been in there and asking for all these wonderful shifts to happen. These beautiful light forms that have been asking for this ascension to occur. And moving into the frequency of appreciation as you appreciate everything that you've come through. The good, the bad, the ugly, the heaps on the floor, just appreciating all of these beautiful life's lessons. Now that you know what it's like to be there, you can help others move through this. You can be that light for others. And allowing that crown chakra to open up even more. Allowing the true divine connection to Source. Knowing that you have this direct connection to Source. Knowing that you can ask any question at any time. I want you to choose to ask Source Energy right now what it is that you need to know to truly complete this ascension process, to truly get to where you're needing to go, to truly get where you're wanting to go. If you have any questions that have been sort of milling about and ruminating, what am I meant for? What is my true nature and purpose? What is my soul's journey? Right now is the most beautiful time to ask that question. Connected fully with Source, you can get the downloads right away. And once you've asked that question, you can actually ask, what do I need to do to get there? What's one thing I can do? Just one thing. What's one step I can take to get there? And as you float there, I want you to imagine your feet. And I want you to imagine those roots that were deeply grounded deep into Mother Earth. And I want you to just imagine your feet coming back down to the bottom of the pond so that you can stand and you can start to come out of that beautiful light pond when you're ready. Some may need to still stay there. You may be feeling certain things in certain energy centers. You may be feeling things in your ears, like one's plugged or one's open. You may feel things in your body that are calling for attention right now, and we're just going to go through and clean and clear and transmute anything else that's ready to just be shifted from this beautiful light body. And as you put your feet down on the ground that's underneath the water, I want you to imagine this true spiritual self, this picturesque version of your spirit, of your true divine entity that's deep inside of you, taking over your body and coming out chakra by chakra, bit by bit. And when you're ready, you can just join us back on the bank before you dipped your toes in, and just feel this light stay with you. Feel these energetic tethers into Mother Earth as your recalibration points. They're always there. Feeling those roots tap in. They're always there. They're never disappearing. They're always there, ready to tap into Mother Earth whenever you need an energy upgrade, whenever you need an energy cleanse. And the beautiful thing about this light is it's now operating at the frequency of appreciation and gratitude and love. And anything below that is not going to be able to tap and turn back into you. Any kind of cord that's going to be tried to connected to you at this frequency will simply just fall away. Will simply slither back into the universal consciousness. It has no place in your body and in your spirit anymore. It's moved and it's shifted. And when you're ready, I'd love for you to just wiggle your toes in the sand and wiggle a finger or a toe. We're going to ground all this into the matrix of the universe, just allowing all of these teachings, allowing all of these cords to stay retracted, and just feeling as though you have this bubble around you of light. It's just emanating. Every word that comes out of your mouth will be from light. Every feeling that comes in will not be from those darker frequencies, those lower frequencies anymore. It'll simply come in as light. I'm just going to continue on with a little bit of the energy work as I allow you guys to all just come back onto shore. My crown chakra is itching. I keep having to scratch it like it's just feels really neat. I have lots of itchies going on right now. It's healing. If you think about itching, it's like when a scar is wounded and it starts to, you get a wound that's starting to itch, it's starting to heal, starting to move through. Wearing your new shoes, wearing your sparkly shoes. It's like this tapped in, turned on version of Wizard of Oz with Dorothy's shoes. It's almost like seeing you all in these sparkly shoes that just can't be taken off anymore. You can always just click 3 times. This energetic reset wasn't about one button or pushing a button. It was literally about allowing all of those old cords that get attached to simply be released, to allow this light to just shine. And you can even ask for a symbol, just because you're in this beautiful state. When we're in a meditative state like this, when our nervous systems are reset like this, you can ask for a symbol or a button or a word that you'll know is almost like a fast track button. This spiritually ascended soul of yours now has this magic button, this clicking your heels 3 times, or perhaps squeezing a shoulder, or perhaps an anchor, perhaps a rock. I'm getting crystals coming in really clear. But for someone, maybe it's me, I don't know, but I'm seeing tuning forks. Just like those metal forks that are tuning forks. I know around 432 and above hertz and frequencies it allows us to naturally tune to that. So for some, they may want to ask, since Christmas is over, for a birthday present of tuning forks. The crystals are coming in really clearly right now. I'm being showed black tourmaline. It's a really good shield, especially if there's been a lot of spiritual attacks and energy attacks. I feel like tourmaline is really important. Whew, I went into a time warp there. I just looked at the time. I'm so sorry for keeping you guys so late. That was intense. That was a beautiful. My hands have finally stopped tingling like they were. I did feel myself have to actually remove. There's a lot of stuff there that just kind of needed a little bit of help removing. So I'm really hoping that that helped you guys. Energetically, spiritually, could almost see a lot of sparkly shoes happening there. It was a beautiful, very vision oriented meditation for me. I usually don't see as clearly as I hear or sense things, but it's like all of a sudden sparkly shoes popped in and all of a sudden tuning forks. So I don't know who that's for, but take it as if that resonates with you as something that may be helpful. You literally just tap them against each other on something, and it's a frequency that will tune your frequency, just like a guitar string. The music always wants to tune. We are all just these energetic frequencies. It's funny because tuning forks have never come in for me before, but that was very strong. I hope that was helpful. And for some, this may have been very intense. For some, may not have been so much. But I'm feeling like being in water, doing an Epsom salt soak if you can, or sea salt. I use like about a quarter cup of sea salt in a nice hot bath, and just allow that to, maybe even with some oils, some nice grounding oils, some frankincense, some myrrh, or some black spruce, or some of those fir oils, some of those woody earthy oils, arbor vitae, even if you have cedar wood. All those are coming in very strongly. Put a couple drops in your bath and just allow yourself to literally float and imagine those tethers down into the earth to just recalibrate anything else that needs recalibration. I'm sending you guys such huge love. Good, I'm glad it's ready for sleep. This often, when it does kind of, when you feel really tired after, that is a bit of ascension happening. That's actually the body really liking the recalibration. So just like your computer, when you can actually hit the power button, shut her off overnight, and then when you turn it back on in the morning, it feels really good. Oh, I love you too, Nikki. I think I'm ready to adult again tomorrow, so I think I'm back. I feel good after this. I'm sending you guys such love and the happiest of New Year's wishes for you. Hopefully this cleared things so that you can just step into this next beautiful era of spiritual self-growth. This will just be the beginning. We're just getting into our highest spiritual self. And have an amazing weekend, everybody, and an amazing new year. And I will be back on Monday morning for a Monday Mindset, first one of 2023. I'm excited. I won't be doing Wednesday group or my Friday meditation next week, simply because I am traveling with my daughter. But be sure to catch us Monday if you're available. And I will let you guys go. Have a very happy new year. Mwah. Love you all. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We'll see you very soon. Good night, everybody.